Good day, gentlemen. Welcome to the Empress Club, the Kingmaker series. This is chapter 8, Mr. Murphy. I realized when I checked my video, I had them upside down. So what I do is just flip the camera around. Please forgive me. I hope that doesn't distract you from the message. Mr. Murphy, to me, I was going to call it pack your parachute. Because that is something my teacher always says. Pack your parachute, because you never know when the plane is going to go down. And I always ask him, why do you have such a fatalistic outlook on life? And he said, you know what? You're young, so you may not understand, but in life, things go wrong. Little did I know, I was going to find that out very shortly. I remember the line from the book, I think Grapes of Wrath, I think it is. The best laid plans of mice and men sometimes go awry. Hallelujah, that is some serious stuff. You know, it's amazing when you read stuff as a youngin', it sounds good, but then you have no idea what it means. And then when you find out what it means, it's heartbreaking that you missed it. But then you understand that wisdom come from people dealing with some serious stuff. And that's what this is about, gentlemen. You're going to have to pack your parachute. Now, for those who 10 and 18, you may not know who Mr. Murphy is. But there's a wisdom that says that, called Murphy's Law. And in Murphy's Law, it states that when you least need things to go wrong, it will go wrong. Thankfully, you haven't lived long enough to experience this, but I want you to know it is coming. Therefore, you have to pack your parachute. Mr. Murphy is coming to knock on your door. Adversity is a part of life. That's why I call Mr. Murphy, adversity. Mr. Murphy is a part of life. It's part of the learning process, a part of the development process for the human being, the mind, and soul. You can't escape it. This is why your car has brakes, a horn, a spare, a jack, and the like, because things happen. In fact, my love of cars is what made me aware of Murphy's Law without even knowing what it was and how to prepare for it and plan for it. Now, I've learned from having to change a car at a very early age, probably 50 in a car tire, caught a flat. Thank God we had a spare that was working. We had a jack that was working, and I was able to change the tire. My family and I were able to be on our way. And we went to get the tire fixed and replaced. And that taught me a valuable lesson. Be prepared. I had a friend who was in the Boy Scouts, and he preached that. That's what he was taught. Be prepared. Be prepared. And this is what I learned from having to change my tire. Having to change that tire when we had a flat. In life, have a spare. Have jumper cables, slime to put in your tire, just in case if it's a simple nail or something in your car, as opposed to the tire blowing out. But have slime to put in there. Have coolant, in case if your car runs hot. Water, just in case if you don't have coolant or not enough coolant. Fix a flat, which is the same as slime. And tools, you're going to need pliers, a crescent, wrench, and the like. In case if you have to remove a hose or a battery cable, whatever pops up. Duct tape. Yes, I learned that if a hose is bust, wrap that up with duct tape 3, 4 times, even 6 times, and hightail it home. A tire repair kit, yes. Have a jack. All the things you need. Now, later on when I got older, I had to fix a car in the rain, fix a flat in the rain. After I don't know if the traditional jack that comes with a tire with a car, which you have to roll up. I was saying, never again. I went and got the flat one, like what the tire shops use to jack the car up. And that's another reason why I wanted to have included slime and fix a flat in the stuff that you would need in your car in case things go wrong. Because you may not have time to fix your tire in the rain. So you just squeeze that slime or fix a flat in it and be on your way to the tire shop and deal with that. Oh, and you need a good flashlight. Oh, you need a good flashlight. You're going to need change for payphones. We even know payphones are old, so you should have a battery charger in your car and external battery charger. Yeah, I have two of those. My phone went dead once, so I couldn't call for help, and there were no paid phones. So I went out, I bought two chargers, two external battery chargers, to make sure I always have a charger on me, and I have a car charger, so when I'm driving, I charge my phone. I never let my phone go beyond 50%. One time was enough. And that's one thing I learned about Mr. Murphy. Mr. Murphy teaches you such painful lessons that you make sure it never happens again. Mr. Murphy, I mean, he knocked on my door enough times that he moved in. So I know how to deal with Mr. Murphy. Another story is be prepared and to pack my parachute. The thing is, I've learned from dealing with Mr. Murphy physically to prepare for him spiritually and emotionally. He's coming. And I learned that if you're prepared for Mr. Murphy, if you know Mr. Murphy is coming, you know what happens? This is my experience, so I'm not saying that the same thing will happen to you, but if you are prepared, you know what happens? You can respond to Mr. Murphy calmly. Because you are prepared. You have the necessary tools to deal with him. And I remember a quote from Miyamoto Musashi in the Book of Five Rings. And he said that, excuse me, in the midst of violent chaos, remain calm and clear. And the only way you can remain calm and clear in the midst of violent chaos, what I've learned from hard experience, a long hard experience, is to be prepared. And to know that calamity could strike at any moment, so you be prepared. Now, how this translates into my life, how I translate to other aspects of my life is that I save my money. So if things happen, I have money saved up in the bank. I have money in, like, what is my man? 2 Chainz. He said his mattress is his ATM. So I get money in the house. I have money in the car. I always have money on me. So if things go wrong, I have money. In addition to that, excuse me, I've picked up skills along the way. I can do basic plumbing. I'm good at carpentry. So if things go wrong along that line, I could help myself with carpentry and get basic plumbing. So if something goes wrong with my plumbing, I could fix it, but I'll have to call in a professional to make sure I don't have to worry about it at night or if I'm not at home. Excuse me. So that being said, this leads me into something I learned from Napoleon Hill. And he said that when adversity comes knocking on his door, he invites them in because he knows adversity is coming to teach him something that he didn't know. They're bringing a new lesson. And I learned that once I look back over my life. When Mr. Murphy comes knocking on my door, it's time to learn something. And I've learned that either A, there's something in my blind spot that I do not see or cannot see that he's coming to expose. So never once did adversity come into my life that I didn't learn something, I did not get better at, I didn't improve, I didn't grow. So Mr. Murphy is like fire. Yes, it is destroying, but it is also cleaning. It's also bringing about change. And I've experienced that for myself. Mr. Murphy comes to create change. And usually for the better. For the most part, the better. For the most part, has been good. And that's why I refer to adversity as Mr. Murphy. Because it's like, he's a friend now. So he comes in knocking, I know it's for a reason. It's time for me to learn something. Ralph Waldo Emerson, I'm going to end with this, what Ralph Waldo Emerson said about adversity. That it comes to end an era in our lives that we have outgrown. Now, you between 10 and 18, you haven't even started yet. But when it happens, know that there's a way of doing things that has served this purpose. There's a group of people you've been around that have served this purpose, and it's time for you to move on, elevate, and grow. So Mr. Murphy, though he brings fire into your life, it is to improve it. And Mr. Ralph Waldo Emerson also said that Mr. Murphy comes when it is time for you to be prepared for your destiny. There may be character flaws that you possess that have to be dealt with, that have to be burnt out of you. And as I think it's either Emerson or Napoleon Hill who said it, that there's dross in your life that has to be burnt out of it. There are habits, thought patterns that are in your life that are stopping you from reaching your destiny. And everyone was put on this earth for a reason. And according to Emerson and Napoleon Hill, when the time comes for you to rise to your duty or your purpose on earth, and you are not ready for it, adversity is coming to temper you, to cleanse you, and to prepare you. So, gentlemen, I'm going to end this, and we'll be going on. Moving on. But I want you to know that when Mr. Murphy comes knocking, know that he's always going to come knocking. Be prepared for him. I know this. You're getting better, and you're being prepared for your destiny. So don't panic. Remain calm and clear, even in the midst of violent chaos. I'm out, gentlemen. Catch you on the flip side.